Hey, what's up everybody? Retro Gaming Guy here. So I just picked up this original PlayStation console here from Goodwill for just $5. So we're going to test it out. We're going to see what we need to fix on it to get this up and running. Hopefully we can do that. But before we do, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started. All right, here is the original PlayStation console. And when we push the lid down here, it pops right back up because the open button is engaged. And it's actually totally stuck. You can see it doesn't have any give to it. It looks like somebody pushed it down and it got stuck down. So, you know, this every time you push down on the top, it pops right back open because this is stuck engaged. And it looks like somebody spilled soda in here because look at down here, all this sticky residue, and it goes all the way down to right about here. This side doesn't have the stickiness, but certainly is very dirty to say the least. You can see up here, same deal, which definitely looks like somebody spilled something here and it just ran inside. And then take a look at the memory card ports and where we would actually connect our controller. Very dirty in here, especially this right-hand side. In fact, let's try to push that in. This should just be a flap. You can see it has a little give there. How about over here? Left side has some give. Right side, I can push the whole console. You can see sticky stuff here and then across all of that. So looks like we've got our work cut out for us here if this is even worth fixing. Sticky stuff all over here. Take a look at the side. Looks like it ran down from the top. Just an absolute disaster here. Other side, not as bad. Just dirt on this side. And then we'll flip this over so we can see the bottom. Definitely got some stuff on there, but all in all, the bottom is actually better than anything else on here. So we are going to test this out, see if it actually functions. I guarantee you it doesn't. And we're going to have to see whether we can start opening this up and seeing what is going on inside and if it's worth repairing. But for $5, you know, it's not a bad gamble. Let's see what happens. We're going to test this out with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. And now I have a DualShock 2 controller that I'm going to try to connect to this. And now, even though it's a DualShock 2, it should still work with this console here. All right, kind of jammed that in there because it was caked up with that sticky stuff, but I'm not too hopeful here. So how are we going to do this? Is there any way to free this up? All right, so it is engaging in there, so it's just obviously letting go every time we push it down. So this is my tool bag with all of my different bits and stuff inside of it. It's got some weight to it. We should be able to hold that down. I think the weight of that is going to keep it in place. Let's fire this sucker up. All right, so we are actually seeing this boot up right now, which is actually mind-blowing to me that this is actually starting. But we aren't reading the disc just yet anyways. I'm hearing it spin though. It's a good sign. Wow, this is actually starting up the game. I'm actually blown away by that, in all honesty. See if we can actually get into the game. That would be just actually totally mind-blowing to me if this actually works out. All right, we'll do a single session here. All right, guys, this is absolutely insane that this actually somehow, some way works. I guess that's just a testament to the fact that the PlayStation, the original PlayStation here, was well made. but we still have our work cut out for us to try to clean this up and get this in good shape. So I'm going to power it off, and we're going to start taking this apart, and you know, we'll see what we can do with this. Hopefully I can get it all cleaned out, and in the process we don't do any damage to anything. Let's see what we can do. All right, so here we have our original PlayStation console. So we have to test this again since we took it all apart, cleaned everything, just to make sure that it does still fully function. And we have the exact same controller, the DualShock 2 that I'm using. Inside here, you can see it opens up now, but we have the same game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. So obviously the top is working perfectly, but we are going to power this on and see what happens. All right, seems to be booting up no problem so far anyways. We'll see if the game launches. All right, and there we go. All right, guys, absolutely shocked that this actually functioned, given the fact that somebody poured Coca-Cola over this console, and that is, in fact, what they did. I'm not saying they did it intentionally, but once I started scrubbing everything, it kind of reactivated that Coke, and you can actually smell that distinctive Coca-Cola smell to it. So definitely was Coca-Cola that was poured on top of and, you know, into this console. But for $5, we ended up with a console here that actually looks great in the end. Took a lot of work to actually scrub everything down internally and externally. Luckily, I also had the cables and controller to actually utilize this in the end. If I didn't, I would have spent probably $15 or so to get the cables, and then a controller anywhere from, just depends where you're getting it, $5 to $25. I'm using the DualShock 2, which I prefer to the original PlayStation controller, and you can use it with, you know, the original PlayStation and PS1s. So I always try to go that route when possible. I just prefer that to the original controller. But hey, this worked out. Can't say that it always works out with Goodwill. You're always rolling the dice a little bit. But one thing I will share with you guys, when you're buying from Goodwill, whether it's in store or on Shop Goodwill, and usually Shop Goodwill, you're going to get some additional information. In store, it's usually whatever is on the tag or the price tag. But if they're listing something for repair only or not working condition, they'll usually say what the issue is. If they don't, and if it also doesn't come with cables, in my experience, it's just something that they haven't tested. So they're going to advertise it as not working, because if you get it, test it out, and it actually works, you're certainly not going to be complaining to them. But if they say something works without them testing it, then you can obviously complain to them, and it becomes a whole thing. So that's just something, I can't say it happens all the time, but in my experience, I'd say 70% of the times when I buy something that says for repairs only, it actually does function, or it needs something super minor for a repair. In fact, I don't think that I have so far come across anything except maybe 2 original Xbox consoles that were, you know, repair only and actually came in repair only condition. And those actually just needed a new drive, which I had on hand, put those in, and I was good to go. So oftentimes that's the situation there, just to give you guys that information in case you are bidding on Shop Goodwill, or you're going into an actual location and you're getting something that doesn't come with cables and is, you know, advertised at a really low price because it doesn't work. It probably does work. They just haven't tested it. So that's my 2 cents on that. Hopefully it helps somebody, but that's going to do it for today. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Hit me up in the comment section, give me a thumbs up on the video itself, and of course hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.